Hi. This is Brittany Bond reporting live from the inside of my brain this week. I did a Vipassana last week, which, if you don't know what that means, that is 7 days completely silent. And you wake up at 4:30 in the morning to do your first meditation, and your last meditation of the day ends at 9 p.m. So it's sitting meditation, walking meditation, standing meditation. And the last meal of the day that you eat is at 11:30 in the morning. So it's like hardcore intermediate fasting. Let me tell you, it is probably one of the hardest things that I have ever done in my life, and not on like a physical level, but from an emotional level, and just letting go of control and just really facing yourself. A lot of people ask, like, what's the point of Vipassana? Is it just to have like peace? Like, they ask you in the beginning, what do you want out of this? And I was like, I want peace. I want blah, blah, blah. I want to feel like good in my body. Those are all results of Vipassana. Those are all results of meditating. But the real point of going in there and not talking to anyone for 7 days is really to face yourself. And I think it has given me one of the biggest superpowers that I could ever have asked for, which is knowing my darkness more than other people know my darkness, and accepting it and working with it and letting go of my ego, and also loving myself. Because I think I was really working hard on like putting a lot of joy in my life and abundance and happiness and all of these things. But when some of my darkness would come up, when some of my anger would come up, when some of my ego would come up, I wouldn't know how to handle it. I would just be like, well, why is this here? Like, I have so much goodness in my life, and how do I handle this? And I didn't know. I didn't have the tools to do it. And everyone kept telling me, you should go meditate, you should go meditate. And when I told Andy I was going to make this video, he was like, you should just turn on the video and tell everyone that this is how my Vipassana went. And just have it be looping for like 5 minutes. And I was like, no, babe, I want to share with everyone. I think it's super important to share with people how it is. Like, I feel enlightened. And I also thought it was really interesting to come back here to my community on Koh Phangan and like talk to everyone, because to hear how I am reflected in other people's minds. Like, they're like, but Brittany, you're so full power, you're always going and doing things. And it was almost like they were worried that if I meditated and calmed down, that I wouldn't be as powerful, that I wouldn't be as impactful, that I wouldn't be doing as many amazing things in the community. And I am here to assure you that I feel even more powerful. If anything, I feel really grounded now. And one of the meditations I was doing, like, I think my yin and yang, like yang is masculine energy and yin is feminine. And my masculine energy is very like full power, like da 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 da. My brain's always going da 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 da, and that's why it's really hard for me to sit down and meditate and like sit in one spot. And I think now when I meditate, sometimes I was going to say is I think that it's more balanced now, my yin and my yang, masculine and my feminine energy. And sometimes I will literally visualize golden white kind of lava light just dripping down the left side of my body, which is the feminine side, and just kind of going like all the way down. And I just don't think about anything else. I just picture this, and it is so grounding and so calming for me to do that. And another thing too is like not talking to people. So there was probably 16 or so people in the retreat that we did it with, and I on purpose didn't meet anyone in the beginning. Like, I knew some people just from Koh Phangan community, but I didn't talk to anyone because I didn't really want to have that energy with me, and I wanted to see what it was like to share space with people that I didn't know for a week. And I thought it was so hilarious how I was acting around people, like how much I give up what makes me happy, like small pleasures, just for the idea or thought that it might help someone else. For instance, like where we were eating, there was like places where you could sit by like the window area, and I would go sit over there, and then I noticed that someone else wanted to sit there, or thought they wanted to sit there, and then I was like, should I go talk to them? Oh wait, I'm not allowed to talk to them. And I just had all these like mind games of like what is helping other people, and then I realized I do something where I overgive when people aren't even asking for help. They're not asking for me to give up the thing that makes me happy just because I think it might help someone, but then I get resentful. So this has really helped me to be like grounded in the middle, and I've said a lot of no's this week. And I always tell people like saying no to someone else is saying yes to yourself, but I didn't realize how much it was like ingrained in me and like the religion I grew up in and the culture I grew up in, to say like yes to other people, to say the nice thing, to always be like people pleasing. And I think there's nothing wrong with this. I mean, I am such a nice person. I'm always thinking about other people, but I think it was imbalanced in me. I didn't realize. So that was something that was really great. And then not having technology for an entire week, they locked our phones away behind like 4 different locks. That was crazy because it was just like, I read an article one time that you can have like phantom buzzing where your phone's going off and you're like, you don't feel it, or you feel it but it's not actually going off, and that's like a addiction that we have created within ourselves from being so used to having technology on us. And that was definitely happening. Like I kept like reaching for things, and I didn't even bring my Kindle. I didn't bring any screens with me. And that was something that was like really impactful. And I was like, wow, why are we on social media? It's a big reason why I haven't been on this week, and just to go on, and I'm just like, none of this is making me happy. Like this is just like causing more drama in my life, or like more things to think about, when I really just want clarity of mind, and I want like a calm heart, and like just to feel safe in my community, and just feel safe to show up and feel vulnerable. And I think social media, because of marketing, because of politics, it's pushing a lot of fear and trying to get people to do their gut reaction. So they buy the thing, so they vote for the person, so that they follow the leader of whoever is trying to lead you. And I don't want any of that. So thinking a lot about that lately. But I also think social media is good because I'm sharing this video, and hopefully this helps people to go meditate, because I feel myself coming back and like being here. I've been here for about a week, out of the meditation center, and I just feel myself in my full power. I don't know how else to say that. And it's not like from an ego standpoint, it's just more of like, I am grounded, I know who I am, I have faced myself, I have faced all of my darkness, and I think I'm still pretty great, but I also know like what to keep aware of. So whenever I get triggered now, I have a couple, I recognize through the meditation, and like really you face a lot of stuff. I recognize some of the things that are triggers for me. So different things in my body, or different survival things that I've had to go through growing up. So now when I get triggered, I'm just like, okay, which one of these pain points does it hit? And once I reach the point of understanding of like, oh, it's because of that thing, then I can just hit acceptance and let it go, or know how to respond and do it from a place of love and not from a place of being triggered or hurt. I think, wow, like so much of how we communicate with each other is just from being scared and hurt, or the idea of being scared and hurt. And I'm committing myself to take a lot more time to respond to people and do it from a place of love, and also to make sure that I'm good. Even if before I would have like hundreds of messages and people needed things from me, and I would just respond even if I wasn't in a good place to respond. Like I was just like, oh, I'm laying in bed, I can still respond. And now I'm like, no. My energy is not good right now, and that means that I should not be sharing that energy with anyone, even if it's like a logistical thing that I'm messaging them, because it just made me be really aware of how my energy plays into other people, and share like how our energy shares with other people. Because there was people in the meditation retreat that were having a hard time, and none of us is talking, right? And I think I was even having a couple days where I was having a really hard time, but you could feel each other's energy in that. And I was like, wow, how much more is that maximized by our words, and how many I really want to be a lot more intentional with my words. So if you want my recommendation, yes, you should definitely do a Vipassana. I have about like 50 friends that are personally I need to get back to and respond and do video calls with, because one thing about being away from everyone for so long and being so disconnected from like the everyday reality of what's happening, is like it almost made me feel like I kind of died for a little bit, because I was like, no, this person is so important to me. I need to message them. I need blah, blah, blah. And so I had like this whole list of people that I wanted to catch up on, and all these people I want to do video calls with. So there's a lot of you that I'm going to do video calls with this next week. This week, coming out of the meditation retreat, I've been really gentle with myself, did a lot. I wake up every morning without my alarm now to the sun rising, which is usually around 6, and I meditate, and then it's really beautiful to start in darkness and open your eyes and the sun is coming up and the world is waking up. I think it's really beautiful to witness the world waking up every day. I can't describe like how many times I cried like when I first heard music for the first time, because there's no music in the meditation center, and so I was like, oh my god, music, and just like all these little things that we take for granted. So there's so many more things I want to say, but I was really grateful for it. I did it, I think I forgot to say this, I did it in a Buddhist monastery on Samui, and I didn't realize how special this was, but a woman ran it. So a Buddhist nun ran the whole retreat, and her assistant was also a woman. And to have that feminine energy, and she was very, I don't want to say strict, but she like very much followed the rules. Like you had to sleep on like a wooden table, and I found like an old yoga mat and I slept on that, but I basically slept on a wooden table for the entire week, and you had to wake up at 4:30 and go to bed at 9, and like, you know, there was very strict regiments of how everything went down, but she was just so present and so grounded and so kind, and I think that really helped me in my process to be kind to myself. And that's something that I really want to be aware of when I'm hosting other people, because I also came out with like tons of ideas and things that I want to do for the community. And I think that as we become lighter in ourselves and more grounded in ourselves and more healed in ourselves, I don't want to say a responsibility, but I think we have a really big invitation to host others, and it's like we're all rising up together at different stages, right? And so it's like if I like rose up a little bit here, I can like reach down and give someone a hand and help them rise up, and that's definitely what I plan to do in some different events coming up. So yeah, coming out of the meditation retreat this week has been interesting, coming back and being human. Some days I go home to Andy and I'm like, it was really hard to be human today, and he was like, I know what you mean. Just like overwhelmed, like overstimulated. I'll hang out with friends on the beach and just need to go into the water and be silent for a while, because I'm like, wow, the world is really loud. And it's funny because normally I'm the one who's making it very loud. I'm usually a very loud person. But yeah, this week a couple things that are going on is tomorrow's Andy's birthday. Today's Saturday. Tomorrow's Sunday is Andy's birthday. So we're throwing him a big party and organizing it. And like the whole community is coming together to help, and it's just like a really beautiful thing to see like all of these people who love Andy and all of like our chosen family here on the island coming together and doing like all these fun surprises and parties, and just have a beautiful day planned to come together. And then we're also, of course, as we normally do, throw everything together, we are also moving into a new house tomorrow. So Andy and I got like a really beautiful house. It's Balinese style. It's pretty center to town. So I'm excited to have all of you guys over. And then my beautiful man bought me a bike. I need to show this to you. This is no longer part of the meditation, but yes, you should meditate. And I'm actually at Inner Walk right now because I've been getting up and meditating sitting, and then coming here and doing walking meditation, because I've done the Inner Walk is a thing on the island run by Wonderland, and they do 4 hours a day of walking for 4 days in a row. And I did it when I was here I think it was last June I did it, and it was like the beginning of my meditation practice. But look at this beautiful bike. This is my new bike. Not that material things matter, but I will have to say that I have never been so excited to get on my bike and drive my bike. Because Andy has a really beautiful bike, which is basically like the bigger version of this. And I usually am like hopping on his bike and going on drives with him. And now I'm like, I'm gonna drive my bike, I'll meet you there. And he just laughs, he's like so excited. So yeah, life is pretty great. There's a lot of big things coming up for me in my business, and I've taken a lot of time off this last year to really ground myself and grow in my own emotional, whatever, spiritual growth, whatever you want to call it. And I feel like now is the time. Now is the time to rise up and do lots of things in the world. So you'll be seeing a lot more of me, especially if you're here on Koh Phangan. If you do not live on Koh Phangan, you're missing out. I actually have friends who tell me that I need to be careful, like how much I share about how amazing Koh Phangan is, because they're worried that the masses are going to come and ruin this island, because we joke that it's like a little mini Burning Man here. I mean, I wake up and put glitter on my face, so, and I wear these glasses around. This is like my standard outfit for the day, guys. And I make duck faces, and then all of you guys write to me and kind of like make fun of me for the duck faces. I don't really care, because I'm living my best life. So yeah, love you guys. Signing off from Koh Phangan, this is Brittany Bond.